Okay guys, in this video we're going to be comparing three different cameras. Those cameras are going to be the Canon R8, the Canon R7 and the Canon R6 Mark II. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so like we just mentioned, we are going to be comparing these three different cameras today. That is the Canon R8, the Canon R7 and the Canon R6 Mark II. Now we're going to be comparing these three different cameras in a few different categories just to see which one comes out on top. So let's start with the Canon R8. So the Canon R8 has a built-in focus motor and it also is relatively light, only coming in at 461 grams. Now another thing that's a good point to note about the Canon R8 is it has a BSI sensor. Now this is a camera image sensor which captures better quality images in poor lighting conditions and offers better overall sharpness and image quality. So that could be something to think about if you are shooting in them conditions. Now let's move on to the Canon R7. So why is the Canon R7 better than the others? Well, it has more megapixels in the main camera there, coming in at 32.5 megapixels when compared to the 24.2 of the R6 and the 24.2 of the R8. Another thing that the Canon R7 has is a pixel shift shot. Now the camera can take a series of shots, shifting the sensor slightly with each one. These can then be combined to create an extremely high resolution image. It's particularly useful for things like photographing artwork and things like this. Now let's move on to the Canon R6 Mark II. So why is the Canon R6 Mark II better than the other two? Well, to start off with, it has a lot more focus points. It actually has 4,897 focus points, which is incredibly impressive. I didn't actually know how many it had until I started doing this research, but that is absolutely incredible when compared to the 651 and the 1053 of the other two. It also has continuous shooting at highest resolution, coming in at 40 frames per second versus the 30 frames per second of the R7 and the 6 frames per second of the R8. Now the battery power here is also rather good, coming in at 2,130 milliamps per hour. It also has Bluetooth version 5 when compared to the R7's 4.2 and the R8's 4.2 as well, and this just helps with a faster data transfer. Now all these three cameras are absolutely fantastic, but you might be hard pushed to look much further than the Canon R6 Mark II, especially when talking about those focus points. But no matter which way you decide to go between these three, you're going to be getting a fantastic camera, and I can thoroughly recommend all three.